Hello.
Hello there.
We're back at it.
Back for another week.
3 more movies, 1 new release, 2 from 1991.
I like this formula. I like going back and sampling these older movies that most of them I've never seen or heard of.
I do too, yeah.
We got some interesting ones this week.
We really do. And you get to see what movies really had an impact on future filmmaking.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I find that fascinating. But I guess we should start off with our new 2026 release.
Yeah, let's go.
We watched Omaha. How'd you feel about Omaha?
Omaha. Well, I like the main actor. I've
Me
seen
too.
him in a lot of things.
Orange is the New Black.
What's his name again? I'm so terrible with names.
John Magaro.
John Magaro, yes. I think I first saw him in The Big Short, like we talked about. And yes, he's in Orange is the New Black. Seen him in a few movies and shows.
Past Lives, he was really
Past
good in.
Lives. That's right. So I'm glad to see this guy's getting a lot of work and hopefully get some recognition.
Me too. He's been having a really great couple of years. He killed it in this movie.
He did. Is Omaha going to be my number one movie of the year?
No.
Probably not. I think you had mentioned going in, it was in line sort of Rebuilding that we watched. Was it last year, earlier this year?
Yeah, those are the vibes I got from the trailer that we watched.
Yes.
That it was going to kind of be about this guy who's going through a rough time and just trying to get through it with his kids. I will say, I did think this movie was much more interesting than Rebuilding.
I get that.
I didn't dislike Rebuilding, and I love Josh O'Connor. What held me back from that movie was the main character was kind of boring. Not Josh O'Connor's performance. I think he played it in a very realistic manner. I know a lot of guys who are like that. Some people, some personalities, it's not going to make the most fascinating movie. It was a slower movie. This one had the same slower movie energy.
Overall, yes.
But there was a lot more external pathos going on with this character.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by that?
The main character in Rebuilding internalized a lot of his pain. This character, he was internalizing, but you could see externally that he was doing that to protect his children, or what he thought to be protecting his children. He's not going to break down or have these emotions around them. He was hiding a lot of things and his intentions and everything to try to protect them. Through the performance, you could still see all of the layers.
Sure.
Of that's what he was doing.
So maybe not talking about, what past trauma or something, but showing the emotion.
Exactly.
Yeah, he killed it in this movie.
For example, they never even flat out said when he's going into the other room and making phone calls, he's just calling his dead wife's answering machine.
Yes.
But it was blatantly obvious through the performance and the context that that's what was happening.
This movie did a really good job of showing things and letting the audience figure it out from themselves, and it did not waste time trying to really explain it.
We didn't think the audience was stupid.
Exactly. We are able to figure out quickly that in the beginning they are about to be evicted from their house. The kids don't know what's going on. We have the tragedy of Rex.
Poor Rex. At least he was taken to the ASPCA. I don't think they kill there, especially...
Such a beautiful golden retriever.
Rex is getting adopted
immediately.
Stat.
He's going to have doggy depression. He's going to miss them kids.
He is.
I appreciated that they're showing this father trying to figure out what's best for really his kids. He's not even really even eating. It's shown throughout the movie. He's like foregoing a lot of food sometimes.
Yeah.
So his kids can eat. And
which I feel like
making
is
a lot
the reality
of
for a lot of parents in certain positions.
A lot of tough sacrifices. That all being said, I feel like this guy could have explored some other avenues after being evicted. And it's shown he's lost his wife and the kids their mother, and I'm sure they're down in income. He might be unemployed, and the financial situation is very dire. He chooses some extreme measures, though.
He really does. And this is one of those movies where I thought the mom is dead here because a mom would never allow any of this to happen.
Absolutely. We find out in the end, your grand plan is to take them to a city where it is legal to abandon your kids at like a hospital or wherever.
He essentially dumped them at the shelter.
He did the equivalent of dumping a newborn at like the firefighter's door or something like that.
He did the equivalent of what he did with Rex.
He really did. Even with Rex, he didn't have to like run from the door as they were trying to get him back. I thought this movie wasn't afraid to have its little darker elements and themes throughout. I don't think this guy knew what other options were out there for him and got very desperate.
Which I did find strange because we do establish he's on food stamps. So I was thinking, are there no government housing options available to you? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's just too many hoops to jump through because the systems are trash generally.
You were even wondering when we were discussing the movie while we were watching it. They get to Omaha and they're showing some of the buildings that he's walking by, and we're thinking, oh, this is like the public housing he's having to move them into.
Yeah,
something
that's what
like
I had assumed once he got there.
And we just take that hard pivot to we're going to the hospital. We show him walking with the kids up to the emergency room, and I'm thinking, oh boy, what's about to happen?
Mm-hmm.
And it really wasn't until last minute, I'm like, oh, he's leaving them here. And I thought he was really going to then go back to his car to commit suicide.
I did too.
Not that dark, thankfully.
Listen, it got me. I didn't know that was going to happen. That was, I hate to say a twist, but it felt like a twist. Because the movie's called Omaha, but I sure didn't know about this Nebraska law that was in place for a little while.
No, it's all about Nebraska passed this law where you can, it was supposed to be like if you can't take care of a newborn, you can, I guess, essentially abandon them, but
at the hospital, then have no legal repercussions.
But they didn't put in specifying an age, so a bunch of just regular kids kept getting dropped off. I think they said at the end
35.
Yeah, none of them were actually infants. They were all kids that couldn't be taken care of by their parents.
Yeah, because I did think it was strange that he was driving from Nevada to Nebraska.
Yeah.
Because I thought, well, if you're going for public housing, do they not have something like that in Nevada?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he got a job and it's over there. But then if that's the case, why wouldn't you just tell your kids? Because he's very secretive the whole time.
Yes, the kids think for the most part they're going on a trip somewhere.
Yeah, and then at one point the girl says, I think we're moving. And I was in line with that thought process too.
Yeah, I thought they were going to have to stay with family.
Yeah, and then I assumed they'd just drop the dog off because, well, you got evicted.
There's no way that we can take care of them.
It's hard to, get food. Like, you're doing what you feel is most responsible for the dog. But I did think it was odd that he kept it a secret from the kids because I feel like if you sit the kids down and you say, hey, we need to drop Rex off here. He's going to be safe. He's going to be fine. But we just don't have the means to take care of him anymore. And we need to make sure he has the best life he can have. A kid would understand that. They'd be sad, but they'd understand it.
This guy's not going to be winning Father of the Year.
No.
Yes, the kids, even when they're dropping off Rex, the daughter's like apologizing, thinking, because she was telling the dad earlier, oh, don't feed Rex human food. It's not good for him.
Don't feed him McDonald's.
And because the dad's like feeding him half a burger. We understand why now. But the little girl is left thinking, since nothing is explained to them, like, oh, I'm sorry, Rex can eat whatever you want. We don't have to get rid of him.
Yeah, and then when he drops them off at the hospital, the little girl is crying, I'm sorry, because she's old enough. They say she's almost 10. She's old enough to notice the money stuff and the stuff that's going on. The little boy is a little younger, so maybe doesn't get it fully.
Mm-hmm.
But she's old enough to understands some of these things, but not old enough to understand exactly what and why everything is happening, which leads her to all of this self-blame. That girl is gonna need a lot of therapy.
He had good intentions to take care of his kids, but man, did he fumble kind of their future for a while.
And then, too, they're going to get put into foster care.
Yeah.
Foster care is a real roll of the dice. A lot of kids get abused in foster care. They might get separated. You don't know.
You're right. I think if he had really just sat down and taken the time to try to explain the situation to his kids and gone for we're going to try to make this work however we can. Or even if he was trying to still go for you need to stay with someone else for a while I figure things out, I think the kids would have understood that. But now they're going to spend the rest of their lives thinking, oh, I did something wrong.
Well, and now even if he does get back on his feet, he's not getting custody back of those kids.
Yeah, the nurse lady at the end said, like, you understand you're not going to be seeing your kids for a while now.
I do think it was interesting. The whole movie, he's just referred to as dad.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a name. And then after he's done all of that, when he comes back in the hospital to sign those papers, that's when he finally has a name. He's something other than dad. He's not dad anymore.
Just a regular person.
Yeah.
I think his wife's ghost is going to come back to haunt him so hard.
Absolutely. No way would she have been okay with that.
Best I can do, honey, is I abandoned them. Not my problem anymore.
I'm leaving them with strangers who could potentially abuse them.
In a state they've never been in.
I don't know if I'd want to let my kids go off with strangers in Nebraska.
I would not be all right with that.
I really enjoyed the sound design in this movie too.
It had pretty shots.
Throughout, in the background, you could hear dogs barking, kids screaming. And at first you just think, well, that's outside noise.
But then you notice sometimes it didn't fit always exactly in the scene, what we were shown.
The first time I clocked it was when they were in the gas station and he was outside and you hear a little boy screaming. And I had assumed, oh, did something happen to the boy inside?
Yeah, because he's in with his
snatch
sister.
Him?
Yeah.
Because the sister's even walking around for a little bit like, hey, where is he? And he just had walked back to the car. But I think that screaming was taken from the end of the movie when he's dropping them off at the hospital. I think it was overlaid onto that scene.
You're right.
When you hear the dogs barking, a lot of times, because I found it a bit odd at first, it doesn't sound like just regular dogs barking. It sounds like dogs in distress. And that's kind of how the kids screaming is too. It doesn't just sound like kids playing. It sounds like they're in distress.
Right. Yeah, I noticed that as well. At first, you're thinking, oh, these are other people and kids at this gas station. You're just hearing background noise, but you pick it up a little bit more. I think that was intentional.
I agree. It had to be intentional for sure.
A lot to deconstruct in this movie. It did that well.
I do think I am having a better time talking about the movie and deconstructing the movie than I did watching the movie.
I get that. Like we said, it's a bit slower paced.
It is.
Not the happiest movie in the world.
It's a feel-bad movie for sure.
Enlightening. Good to learn about that little era.
I sure didn't know this was a thing, so I'm glad I know now.
Good job, Nebraska. I suppose. I don't know.
The acting was really great. John Magaro, phenomenal. Those kid actors were really great too.
I agree.
Rex, cute little dog.
Yes. Like we said, I think I ended up enjoying this more than Rebuilding, even though they do feel like similar movies. I'd say
this movie started to remind me of the Florida Project, especially when they were walking around the zoo. I do like the Florida Project more than this movie.
Fair enough.
But I thought some of the vibes felt similar.
And I have to say, by the end of the movie, you're shouting at the dad, going, no, you're making all the wrong decisions. But it was I think, realistic portrayal of a guy in over his head in a very desperate situation.
I agree.
So I'd give this like a 3 out of 5.
What's your Rotten Tomato score?
I always got to change up what scales we're using. I will say, I will give this a 83%.
83? That's good. I'm going to give it 75 because I do think there is enough there that I would give this a certified fresh.
Sure.
But the rewatchability factor,
It'd be hard.
did I have fun watching it? Not really. Would I rewatch it? Probably not.
Yeah.
But there was a lot that this movie had to say, and I do think it was done really well.
I agree. Good take.
And the Rotten Tomatoes score, 91%.
Not bad.
I understand why a movie like this would have such a high score. I think it is hard to come out of this movie and say, I'm giving this a bad review. But 91 is a bit overhyped for me.
I suppose. Is this movie worth the hype overall? Yes, if you kind of know what you're getting into.
Yes. Is it worth a 91%? I would say no. Yeah, I wouldn't say don't watch this movie.
Exactly. You're right. With it, for me, not having a lot of rewatchability, a score in the 90s is a bit much.
Exactly. I'm glad I've watched it the one time, but yeah, it's not gonna be a rewatched movie.
But you know what? I think maybe for a lot of people, and especially critics, maybe rewatchability isn't a big factor in how they score things.
I would imagine.
Yeah, worth the hype with like an asterisk.
That's a good way to put it.
Watch the trailer like 3 times, and if you're still feeling into it after that, give it a go.
If you liked rebuilding,
Yes,
you'll love this.
Give this a shot. All right, what do we got next?
We're jumping into 1991.
Diving in.
We watched Nikita, the French film with no director.
No director.
Not at all.
I was not sure what we were getting into for this movie when we had the Lost Boys-esque entrance.
It really felt like The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys came out before this, right?
I think so.
I think that was from the 80s.
We have my favorite character, Zap, walking around with his axe, just slicing things. I think him and his little gang were breaking into, it's like one of their dad's pharmacy for drugs, I think.
Yeah.
Zap, the shirtless wonder, is just swinging his axe around. They're saying, oh, you zapped it. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun. And Zap bit the dust within the first, 5 minutes of the movie?
Yes, they get caught robbing this pharmacy. A huge shootout with the police ensues, and our girl Nikita is the only survivor.
And she does blatantly kill one of the police officers, which gets her into trouble.
She's found guilty, shown to be, I think, quite insane.
See, one thing that wasn't really touched on, so her and her friends, they're drug addicts. They're going to steal drugs or money to buy drugs, but we don't really see her going through any sort of withdrawal period.
Yes.
Maybe she's erratic because of the drug use, but then she's kind of erratic the whole time.
Yes, I think it's shown it's much worse when she's fresh off that little stunt.
That's true.
But you're right. Throughout the rest of the movie, we have these little moments where she just sort of explodes.
I would also expect someone who was dealing with addiction and didn't really choose to get clean, but was kind of forced into it.
Oh, yes.
The second you get taken out of jail to go do your spy shit, I would think she'd be right back at it trying to get more drugs.
You would think.
Because we don't get a scene or any character development of, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I think a little scene like that would have been impactful.
She's never shown to be very remorseful for any of her actions.
No.
I don't think.
I don't think so either.
But yes, she's eventually, I think, sent to like the insane asylum.
The asylum is maybe just a front for this spy training school.
Yes, they're never upfront with it. I'm assuming this is the French government.
Yeah, he just says the government, so I would assume so as well. You're gonna help your country is what he tells her.
Right. We're going to recruit this very unstable person who has no problem murdering agents and officials of the French government. What could go wrong?
And we never learn really why any of the targets are targets. What
No.
are they doing that the French government is so threatened by them?
They're really able to get away with some very out in the open murders that they have her do.
One thing that this really reminded me of, and of course, this came out first, so I think it served as an inspiration for a lot of media in the future. I was reminded of Killing Eve,
Sure.
except in Killing Eve, the assassin Villanelle, she is part of this organization who it's been a while since I've seen the show, but I'm pretty sure they were just being paid by rich people to, oh, go take this person out, go take this
Yeah.
person out. That would have made more sense to me.
This reminded me a little bit of that ballerina movie, the John Wick spinoff that
Oh,
we watched.
yeah.
And also in that they didn't give our main gal much character development overall.
No.
Explaining her motivations, really. I think we have some contradictions. She's shown to be very capable of violent acts when she's doing her little spy training. She's really good at using like the computer and like being a good marksman, things like that.
Yeah.
And at the same time is very sometimes hesitant to carry out some of the like missions and killings that she's required to do. So I don't know, but she is very much like I think kind of being coerced to do these things. She's like been legally declared dead already.
Yeah, they essentially tell her, well, if you don't do this, you're already dead, so we'll just kill you.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I think they were trying to imply that she's been having a sexual relationship with her handler.
Yes, there's always that tension there, and he's always kind of like looks of longing right at her.
Yeah, even the last scene in the movie, I think, really cemented that, but we
Hmm.
never get anything explicitly stated.
This movie had a little bit of an issue portraying the time skips
I agree.
because we get the after our intro, our gal is in her prison cell essentially at this like I guess she's at the spy agency, I don't know, headquarters, wherever it's at, and she starts her training, and then I think they say, it's been 6 months, and then next thing we know it's like 3.5 years have gone by. It skips around
Yeah.
a little bit, and it didn't really show us anything to indicate that.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure at the beginning of the movie, she's a teenager.
Yes,
And then, yeah, they
that's
just
right.
say at one point, it's been 6 months. And then she gets more serious about her training because they say she has 2 weeks to get good or it's see you later. And then all of a sudden, yeah, it's your, what, 22nd, 23rd birthday?
Something like that. Yeah.
I will say, what was probably the most indicative of a time skip was she had painted all over her room.
Yes.
And the whole room was painted, words were written everywhere, and
Fair
it was
enough.
completely bare at the beginning. But that's not really the most clear way to portray that.
I agree. I agree. And I thought it was pretty funny how over the top she's supposed to be this kind of secretive undercover spy, but now she's having to assassinate these targets in pretty public displays sometimes. Like her
Yeah.
first ones are she's at the restaurant with her handler and it's her birthday. He says, Here, I got a present for you. And then it turns into a mission for her quickly. It's a gun in the present. He goes, there's like two people essentially kind of behind you, shoot them and then run out the specific escape route, and she has to survive all that. It was a good sequence. I liked it. I just thought the whole time like you're going to be swarmed by police and arrested all over again at any moment, and that never actually happened.
I did think the action sequences were done really
They
well.
were.
I can get a little bored during elongated action sequences sometimes, but we're doing all practical effects and stunts, and the tension was built really well.
I did like the one scene, maybe not liked. I had some questions and was mildly entertained in the scene where she's in I think the Venice hotel with her boyfriend and has to be in the bathroom. She has to find the planted gun, break out the window, and is like waiting for orders as people across the way are like exiting the building and they're trying to figure out who she needs to shoot. I think she ends up shooting this lady on who's like getting onto a boat full of people.
We have no idea why.
Why, who she was, never any kind of aftermath of police sirens, or I mean, I have to assume hearing shootings across most European cities might not be as commonplace as, say, here in America, where we're a little
Yeah.
bit more used to gunfire.
Someone might be trying to go, I don't know, investigate the room with that broken out window.
Right. This movie glosses over some of the finer details. That's okay.
It does. And another way we get the time skip is she meets this guy at the grocery store. She's very excited to be at the grocery store, by the
Loves
way.
it.
And they start dating, and then all of a sudden they're engaged. So we understand that the story has taken us from point A to point B, but we do lose a lot of that emotional connection to
Very
that
much.
relationship. And we see them together, but I feel like I understand maybe why he is in love with her, but why is she in love with him? Because they were in love with each other, from what I gathered.
Yes.
We just missed a lot of those details.
I think that was part of her trying to figure out how to live a normal life after all she had gone through with her prison and training and all that. And where I kind of started to get that is you remember the scene, she's in the grocery store having a great time and she's following this lady and grabbing the same things as this other shopper. But
Hmm.
this lady would say, like, go grab a package of like crackers. Our gal runs behind her and grabs like five of them.
Yeah.
And I think that was her impulsiveness mixing with this curiosity or need of trying to figure out how to fit in now.
Yes.
I thought that was well done, but we didn't expand enough upon that.
Exactly. It would have been really cool to see more of her feelings and how she's navigating through this, because while the movie's called Nikita, you don't really see a lot of her inner turmoil,
Not really.
which I also find strange because, I mean, the actress was married to the not director. So you'd think there'd be some more collaboration there.
Then Leon the professional shows up for a little
He was
while.
my favorite. I really liked him. I've never seen Leon the Professional for obvious reasons, but I did really like that guy.
I like that actor. I hope he's not rotted.
I don't think so. I think, if anything, he maybe refused to do some of the more gross things on Leon the Professional.
Attaboy.
So,
But yes, overall, I get the feeling that part of the genesis of this movie was like I can picture them in the writers' room going, "Oh, what if she was a secret spy assassin?" Yeah, that's really cool, and that's really the most payoff we get in this movie because it's not really about her being a spy or assassin necessarily. It's Nikita's the focus, but then it's only kind of surface level stuff for the most part. This movie had some trouble with tone, I think.
exactly. And for the most part, she's not Nikita. She's Marie
Yeah, she's
or
undercover.
Josephine. I feel like Nikita is who she really is. And we only get that at the very beginning of the movie.
I do think the ending was very abrupt.
It was very abrupt.
And I'm assuming maybe the her handler, he shows up at her apartment with like three or four other dudes, and he's like, I'm gonna go up first. I noticed that. I'm like, oh, are they going to bring her in? Are they like become enough of a liability? We've got her use time to kill her, something like that. And we learn at the end from the handler meets the
Beyonce.
fiance, and he's like, I know everything, but she's gone. She's in the wind now. Abrupt cut to credits.
Yeah, which I was shocked the fiance made it out alive. There was no build up to the scene where the fiance told Nikita, I know everything that you're doing and I don't care because I love you.
It's like, really? All of it?
That just came out of nowhere. We didn't even get a scene of him, I don't know, maybe finding something or investigating something. A lot of the characters weren't very developed.
This movie needed to be fleshed out a little bit. It's got an interesting hook, but that's about it.
It's stylized in a cool way.
Yeah.
I will say, when it opened and we got that very Lost Boys esque sequence,
I wish we had stuck with that.
I was thinking, hell yeah, that's a cool style. Because I like the Lost Boys. I know you don't.
It was like grungy and just punk
Yeah.
and counterculture-y. I thought, yeah, lean into that
And
a little bit
then
more.
we just dropped all of that
We had
style.
that fun little score to lead us in.
Yeah, the
Of-
score was fun.
That good shot of her little gang walking, my boy Zap.
They're
in the
dragging
middle.
her behind them.
Oh, that's right. Was that her, or was she one of the? Was she the one being dragged?
I think
behind
she
them?
was being dragged
Okay.
because she wasn't up and doing stuff. She might have been too high to move.
Got it. An interesting movie and concept, but not enough there to really make this a great film.
I'm starting a conspiracy theory right now. I'm sure someone on the internet's already come up with this. Leon the Professional, that was him.
That was him.
That was him. He's gonna make a miraculous recovery and hop over to, I don't know, America. I've never seen Leon the Professional. I don't know where it's set. I know Natalie Portman's the kid, so I assumed it was in America.
Is that movie still in Paris? I don't remember.
It might be. Whatever the case, that guy is Leon the Professional.
Love it.
Same character.
Same character, same universe.
Yep.
Kind of juggling how I feel about this movie. I think the early elements were shown, coupled with Nikita, especially early on. She's loud and non-conforming and, like I said, very impulsive and can be very violent when she chooses to be. Surprises the audience and even the characters in the story. She's a force in of herself. I wish we had more of that.
I agree.
That would have really been more gripping, but without that, I'll give this movie, I want to say like a 74. You know,
This movie would have been better if it were directed by a woman instead of no director.
by anyone else, absolutely.
This is one of those movies where you can see this inspired a lot of future films.
Sure.
So I'm going to give this a 78%.
Okay. Say not quite worth the hype for me.
It has an 89% on Rotten
Ooh.
Tomatoes.
I like this, huh?
I agree that is a little overhyped. This is one of those movies that gets looked back on fondly as a classic. There are so many Nikita remakes and shows, and this concept has been taken, and a lot of people have done other stuff with it.
I suppose maybe I am more biased or used to some story elements we get in more modern movies. And by that, I mean, I was wondering in Nikita while watching Nikita, okay, when is the other shoe going to drop? What's going to be the big twist, or what other elements is she going to be found out and have to go on the run, or is she going to have to end up like killing her fiance because he finds out what she's doing? And you start to kind of wonder what's going to happen next, and get kind of disappointed.
Yeah, we
I
didn't
did
see
at
any of
least.
that. When she does go on the run, the movie's over.
It's not even shown. Yeah.
So I would say 89% is a bit
Bit much.
overhyped. I think if you're interested in film history, if you like spy movies, this one is one of the classics. Don't pay money for this for obvious reasons.
Fair. Practical effects were really good. I mean, the acting was really good.
Yeah. I wish that the lead actress had been given more to do because
Ultimately, yeah.
her performance was great. So I would have liked if the script had given some more layers to the character because I think she really would have ate, you know?
I agree. One of history's great what ifs.
Thankfully, she got away from that man, even though what got her away from that man was him leaving for a 15-year-old.
No.
I don't even have to say allegedly, that's just what happened.
That's just what happened. Fun.
No director, don't pay for this movie. I sure didn't.
All right, last but not least. Or maybe it will be. We'll see what the score is. Defending Your Life.
Defending Your Life. This one's an Albert Brooks movie.
I'd never heard of this.
Marlon the Clownfish himself. And I saw Meryl Streep on the poster, so I was intrigued. I've never heard of this movie either.
They're both great. The main dude really reminded me of John C. Reilly.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
I can see that comparison. He was pretty funny in this movie.
He
Strikes me
was.
as like maybe he has a comedic background.
Well, yeah, he wrote and directed this movie, and I'm familiar with Albert Brooks, obviously outside of
Oh, crud, that's
Finding
him.
Nemo.
Okay. I am not.
So when SNL first became a thing, you know how they do the filmed shorts?
Yes.
So they've always done that, and Albert Brooks did that at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
So I've seen a few of those, and I do think they're pretty funny, and I did see the similarities in this movie with those. I even thought a lot in this movie felt set up like a sketch.
I get that.
Because so much of it is him being turned around to watch little sequences from his life, which essentially felt like sketches.
Yes, he keeps finding himself in these strange situations over and over again and just trying to navigate, I guess, the afterlife.
The thing that really fell flat for me, honestly, was the romance storyline.
It was very contrived.
At the very beginning, when Meryl Streep was introduced, I thought where they were going with it, and this would have been way more interesting in my opinion, because they kept talking about this lady prosecutor, and she is really good and really tough. And then he meets Meryl Streep, and he's into her. I believe she approaches him at first.
Yes.
So I had assumed, because we hadn't seen the prosecutor yet, that Meryl Streep was going to be the prosecutor. And they'd even dropped, oh, she lost a case last week. So I figured she was feeling a certain type of way about that loss and was now trying to get a little more inside dirt on this guy before the trial started. That isn't what happened. The prosecutor was a different person, but I like my idea more.
I do as well. I thought that's where we were going for a little while. Then, about partway through the movie, they're in essentially the good place, and you've got the area where you can go to and you can view your past lives. I thought the movie was trying to show that Meryl Streep and Marlo the Fish Dad had been together in a past life, and that's why they were kind of drawn together.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Because a few times they were mentioning, like, wow, I've never felt this way before. Like, I feel safe
Yeah.
with you, even though we hardly know each other, sort of things. But you're right. That whole romance seemed to kind of come out of left field. I do sort of think our writer and director wrote in a pretty lady to be his romantic interest for really no other reason than pretty lady.
And she's literally perfect.
They
And
have
then
good chemistry, yeah.
They get Meryl Streep. Oh no, I have to kiss Meryl Streep. Like,
Because, yeah, otherwise it just sort of comes out of nowhere. I think this movie, honestly, it could have done without a romance subplot.
I agree. It was unnecessary.
It's more about, I found the kind of trial aspect of this guy defending his actions from moments in his life more engaging.
I loved Rip Torn in this movie.
He was good in this movie, yes.
He was really fun. Rip Torn from one of our favorites, problematic favorites, Dodgeball.
The classic. I want to watch Dodgeball again. We should get that for the shelf.
Oh, I don't think Dodgeball deserves a shelf space.
No?
No.
Fair enough.
Man, it's one of the most fat-phobic movies I've ever seen.
We know going in it's an imperfect movie.
It's fat-phobic. It's got some questionable things to say about bisexual people. It stars Vince Vaughn.
Well,
And Justin Long, come on now.
Fair enough.
But yes, Rip Torn in this movie, he's really good. He's got great delivery. I think all the deliveries in this movie were well done. It didn't try to get too over the top with the comedy, even though it was trying to keep things fun. You do just have kind of the same way with the romance plot, just some randomness thrown in. Remember at the end when he is on the bus going to his tunnel to go back to Earth, essentially, go back to his life or try again. Meryl Streep's on the other bus. I remember clocking at the beginning, he's on the bus to the afterlife. They're saying, stay in your seat. If you try to get out of the bus while it's moving, there's an electrical field, something like that. You're going to get shocked.
I clocked that too. I thought there's no way that doesn't come up again.
Exactly. And all it is showcasing as he's jumping off his bus to try to run over to get on hers. He's getting zapped a few times and shown in pain. That's kind of it.
Yeah,
we have some random setups for no reason.
It felt like maybe if you put a shock collar on a dog.
I guess so.
When they were explaining it at the beginning, I thought it was going to be some deadly, potentially horrific shock.
It's going to screw up the afterlife for you.
Yeah, but no, it was just a little zap, zap, zap.
Though I guess that being said, that ordeal of him wanting to be with Meryl Streep and risk himself getting off the bus and all that, it's being viewed by his lawyer and the judges and everything. They're watching him, so maybe just showcasing he's willing to go through some of this pain and stuff, which I kind of maybe is a lesson from his earlier memories in the trial, showing when he shied away from being bullied or something like that. So some connection there.
Yeah, because one thing I really, really liked about this movie, it took a different approach to the whole afterlife judgment thing.
Yes.
Usually it's just about morality and how good of a person you are. Here it's about fear and unfulfilled potential.
It is, yes. It was a unique take.
Yeah, and I really liked that. I did think some of the examples of here's what you did wrong or why your potential was unfulfilled.
It's they were goading him trying to make bad decisions.
Yeah, you should have hit that kid.
I really thought they were trying to do, again, maybe I'm just too spoiled by recent things because I always want there to be an interesting twist. Because, I thought the trial was supposed to be a sham, testing him to make bad decisions, and he was ultimately trying to stand by no, I didn't want to fight that guy, or I didn't want to hurt someone's feelings, something like that.
Yeah, you should have hit that kid. You should have done insider trading.
Yes.
You should have led that woman on.
That's why I think some of the... I don't know. Whenever I see an actor is written and directed as starring, he writes in this love interest that sometimes may not make sense. That's all kind of showing through.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily make for a bad movie. I wouldn't call this a bad movie.
No.
Comedic elements that normally would get a laugh out of me, not always. It was pretty entertaining all in all. Like I said, I think Rip Torn was my favorite part of this movie.
I agree.
They showcased some of the quirks of the afterlife area they were in. The main thing being that you could eat as much as you want and you wouldn't get full or gain any weight or anything
I
like
would
that.
love that.
That was about as much as they showed, I think. Even on the TV, his afterlife TV in his hotel, he only had 5 channels.
But he was in the not as good hotel. Maybe Meryl Streep's hotel had more channels.
She was trying to downplay. She's like, you got a jacuzzi too, right? No. Oh, yeah, me neither. Maybe it's just holes in the tub.
Maybe she had some HBO in her hotel.
Meryl was really good in this movie. She was funny.
Yeah.
She did exactly what her character, I guess, was there for.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would say we compared this to L.A. Story. That was a Steve Martin movie,
yeah.
Right? I found L.A. Story and maybe Steve Martin's comedy a little bit more entertaining. Got some laughs out of me more than this movie. Not bad at all. Kind of a more classical 90s comedy feel.
See, I feel the opposite. I liked this movie more than L.A. Story.
We're getting in a fight.
Because I thought this movie had a bit of a more timeless quality to it.
Sure.
Whereas
sure.
LA Story, I really think only lands if you're looking back nostalgically or if you're just in the year 1991.
Sure, I get that. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I think I would give Defending Your Life. I'm going to give it the same score as Nikita, 78.
I was thinking 78 as well. It's pretty good. I think a lot of folks could watch this and find it pretty funny, pretty touching in some moments. Acting's great. Got a just classic 90s movie feel to it. Not too much wrong with it. The story wasn't all there for me. I think is its
Yeah.
biggest kind of drawback for me. I'd say overall worth the hype. Sure, give it a shot. Give it a shot.
If you like those Albert Brooks SNL sketches,
Yeah.
you'll probably like this. It has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I'm going to say that is a bit overhyped for
Yeah.
this one. So not quite worth the hype against a 92%.
I would say I've compared this already. Just watch The Good Place instead.
The Good
it's
Place
much
is
better.
so good.
And this isn't a bad movie.
No.
Give it a shot. This may not be everyone's favorite movie. It wasn't mine, but it wasn't bad. Boy, that's probably my reviews for most of these movies, but hey, that's what we're here for.
And if we're looking at the week as a whole,
Ooh, okay.
Toughie. You know what? For uniqueness in story and kind of emotional engagement, I'm going to say for me, Omaha was my top for this week. Then probably Defending Your Life and Nikita. I don't think I actively disliked any of these movies. They all had their big strengths and big drawbacks.
yeah, I think I'm going to go Defending Your Life, Nikita, then Omaha.
Okay.
But overall, this week was pretty middle of the road, slightly above average for me. Nothing
Sure.
that's really top tier. Oh my gosh, I love this movie.
I was
I mean,
gonna
we watched
say-
Silence of the Lambs last week, so
Hard to follow. Nothing here is probably going to make my top 10 lists anytime
No.
soon. And that's okay.
exactly. But yeah,
Not a
that
bad
was
week.
our week, and we'll be back next time with 3 more movies.
Until then, take
Goodbye.
care. Goodbye.